The software has been written to take all the stress out of creating a redundancy payment, which at times can be a difficult payment to calculate given some of the complexity in taxation law. Be assured that the software will tax all items in the calculation as per Australian Tax Office regulations, including the portions relating to lump sum D and ETP thresholds. So to commence, the status of terminations as in draft mode or submitted is the same as discussed in the normal termination video. If creating a redundancy with a termination date less than today's date, you need to enter a termination date in the master file before proceeding. By default, the redundancy rules in the software are driven by the modern award. If you don't have any specific terms and conditions in your EBA, then you can rely on the calculations provided to be as per the minimum requirements. If you do have your own conditions, and depending on the complexity of them, these can be created in the software to calculate automatically as per your arrangements. Alternatively, if you know the gross amounts of redundancies that are complex due to several criteria, these amounts once calculated can be entered. We will cover all these scenarios in the video starting with the default modern award. When creating the termination, select Genuine Redundancy, then Create. This employee has a service length of 5 years. According to the modern award, a payment of 10 weeks is owing based on 5 years service. So currently this employee has accrued leave in lump sum A, accrued RDOs and software calculated severance in label ETP lump sum D. I could click Add to make more payments, but at this stage I will just click Calculate and Save. So this is effectively completed with correct allocations to the various labels. Note that the maximum tax-free payment for the redundancy is noted as $32,366, and this severance falls short of that. The accrued RDOs go correctly to the ETP label. I'll delete this example because I want to calculate it one more time and make some changes. This time I will click the Payout Pro Rata LSL box, Create, and Calculate and Save. This time the non-entitled long service leave has been calculated. I'll take this one step further. I'll click the Edit Details button and add a $50,000 golden handshake. Note I am clicking the excluded indicator in this example. Calculate and save once more. This time the redundancy has exceeded the ATO limit, so the lump sum D is maxed out at $32,366 and the balance has gone to the ETP label. Note that if the employee's non-excluded income is greater than $180,000, the tax on the ETP over that amount will be based on marginal rates. Not forgetting, of course, that prior to that calculation, the standard rate of 31.5% is reduced to 16.5% if the employee is over 55. So with this tool, you can now create a redundancy termination quickly and accurately. Let's now look at a custom redundancy rule that differs to the modern award. Keep in mind, variations must always be higher than the modern award. You should not create a rule that offers less. To create, click the plus symbol and enter how many steps you require and what is in the condition. Once saved, you cannot delete a redundancy policy, but you can make it inactive. Let's now create a new package for the same employee using the warehouse agreement conditions. Looking at just the severance payment, the employee has been employed over 5 years, so according to our policy that falls within the less than 6 years step, so 30 weeks has been correctly calculated. Finally, any amounts on the calculation can be altered to suit instructions from perhaps the HR department pertaining to certain calculations, as I am doing here. When you do this, make sure from the drop box that you select either excluded or non-excluded as per ATO guidelines. Payroll Metrics are confident that users will have total confidence in using this module directly in the software, and any Excels you may currently use to calculate terminations will no longer need to be maintained.